In a week, when we saw Serbian superstar Vlade Divac admit on this Foxtel documentary that you should be watching, Basketball, A Love Story, that he was the man who introduced flopping to the NBA and is the NBA's greatest flopper. You're joining us on Timeout, the No Flop Zone, and I'm here with Joey Wright. I'm Boti Nagy. Joey, you've just come back from an NBL games in Brisbane. Talk to me about the Brisbane-Adelaide game, because I know you made some observations.
Yeah, it was it was a great atmosphere, and I want to thank Brisbane Bullets for hosting me and putting me in a great seat. I actually sat right behind the bench, so it was some eye-opening situations during the game. Very eye-opening.
Talk to me about the subbing, because we have talked about subbing before. I've tried to draw your attention to this fact that there are coaches in this league that have got the pandemic of subbing. I'm talking John Riley, I'm talking Justin Schuler. This same disease is catching up with Brian Goorjian, and now we've got Mike Wells making 49 subs in this game. So this isn't COVID-19 they've got, this is sub in 49. You know, it's a ridiculous sort of situation. And when I spoke to you about it before, because you'll always defend the coaches, you said, well, sometimes they're just looking for a combination, trying to get it right, get a group that's going to function together. And I agree with that, but that's not what we're seeing. And nor are we seeing teams playing 94 feet of defense in the sort of Rick Pitino style in your face for 40 minutes, which again also would explain a high substitution turnover rate. But what we're seeing now, that's just interfering. This is not coaching.
First of all, I hate to say you were right. I really hate
Everybody
to say
does.
that. I really hate to say that. You know, after watching the game the other day, I watched the subs, and I was close enough to see body language and whatever. A lot of the subs were made in response to what happened, failure or success on the court. As a coach, I never tried to make my subs based on failure or success on the court. All right, it was what they're doing for the team that can help us. Are they ready to play? Are they fit? Whatever it may be. But they were subbing just for the sake of subbing. Seemed like Jarrell Martin. If I'm going into this situation, all right, we're probably going to lose the game. So winning's still number one. So I'm still going to try to secure the victory no matter what. But number two would be getting Jarrell Martin in shape. All right. So coming out of this, he's playing. He's not coming out the game. He's going to play that whole time. He's going to play himself in shape in these next 3 games. Montrez comes back. Jarrell's in shape, ready to go. He can pick up that scoring load that we may lose from DJ right now. Now we're still competitive. But I just felt like Jarrell never got a chance to get in a rhythm. And I looked at him when he came to the bench. I could see he wasn't tired when he got to the bench. He was not huffing, puffing, panting, or anything. It was a lot of subbing.
Yeah, but this seems to be the modern thing. Like we saw Jacob Chance, the Melbourne United assistant coach, coached Australia in a game against Thailand and Korea a week or two ago in the FIBA window. In the first game against Thailand, he made a sub at 7:48. That's 2 minutes and 12 seconds into the game. 132 seconds had gone by when he made his first sub. Now that's not coaching. That's just trying to.
But you can't
2
use the
subs.
anecdotal situation. That maybe someone fell down and broke a leg. Maybe
Nobody I was watching the game.
Maybe someone caught it. I mean, it could be anything. I've had
Thailand fell down and broke their legs. Yeah.
I've had situations where players had to use the restroom at the first start of the quarter.
I'm just saying, when you're that eager to make a sub, you're that eager to insert yourself.
We don't know he's that eager.
Well, he made a couple. It wasn't just one. It wasn't just one guy needing the toilet. There was apparently, half the team needed a quick break after 132 seconds of rushing
one of
around.
my, I think, advantages as a coach was I was going to allow my players to get in a rhythm offensive and defensively. And that comes from just me being a player.
Yeah.
So because I played the game before, I know what it feels like to get out there and start to feel it, and then the coach subs you out. You're not in the rhythm. A lot of times I believe in just riding the player home. If we get a player that's rolling and playing well, man, I'll call a timeout to get you a break. I don't need to sub you. I'll get a timeout. We'll get you over, rest you up, and then we'll get everybody back out there. So it was a bit alarming to see that many subs.
I couldn't agree more. Staying with that game, Casey Prather became Casey Prather. I mean, he hasn't looked much like his old self when he was playing for Perth and Melbourne, but 33 points in that game at 82%, I think 14 of 17 from the floor. And then another 27 in the win over Melbourne, which was a really good win. Is he back?
Well, that's why they're playing well. That's why they're winning. I mean, they put a lot of emphasis in bringing him, having him in the offense and doing things, and he wasn't producing. Bottom line, he wasn't producing. I wouldn't say he's back yet, But those last 2 games look like the old Casey Prather. He looked really good. You give me another couple, he's back.
And you got Dean Vickerman in Melbourne with that big win on the road over New Zealand. Puts him 8th all time, winning coaches in NBL records. So tell me, Boomers coach?
No more deserving. Like I said before, I'd love to see Dean as a Boomers coach, but no one more deserving. He's got to work in. Dean's one of those coaches that you coach against, and I've coached a lot of games against him, but you can learn. You can learn stuff while you're coaching against him. It may not at that moment. He may kick your butt at that moment, but you can go back, look at the tape, and go, oh, wow, that's good. That's good. I remember they ran a set on us after one of the timeouts, and I pretty much knew all their sets. And boom, new set, boom, they got an easy layup out of it. Great set, great situation when he ran it. And I was like, all right, I'm going to go back and look at this. So it's great. I love to see him coaching. I love to watch even to this day, and he does a great job.
Question without notice. This isn't on the run sheet. Basketball Australia is advertising for a Boomers coach. They're asking for applicants. Have you put your application in?
No, been there, done that.
No, you haven't.
Yes,
no, that was a different administration.
It's not a different administration.
It is. It's not. It's Jason Smith now.
Well, I'm not sure what's going on, but I'm not what's going on. So
put in an application.
Nah, it's not.
In your comments, please encourage.
They're not going to tell me no again. It's been like 17 times. I haven't got any run with the national team at any level. I moved on. I got more important fish to fry.
Okay, all right. Now let's get back to the league. New Zealand and Cairns, are they cooked?
I don't know if they're cooked. I talked about New Zealand. I felt like when they're at the top of the ladder, you and a few other people.
Flip Gillespie, I liked the way that was going.
Yeah, I told you. I just think emotionally over the course of a season, you got too many people on that team that are up and down. Personally, like Jackson Park Cartwright gets out there and plays his butt off and fairly consistent, but everybody else on that team, Cleveland, Moody, have been up and down. Moody. So Moody's been Moody.
You got there. and Cairns, I think, 11-game losing streak. I think they've forgotten how to win now.
I'm not sure if they have the same talent base as the rest of the team, so they're going to have to play extremely well on any given night to play well. Edwards, outstanding player, physically, mentally. That's the reason why he's here in this league.
Right.
Mentally, if he had the right brain, he's a starter in the NBA. He's a starter in the NBA. That's how good that guy is. But mentally, he can't stay focused and locked in for more than a quarter.
Yeah, Adam Ford has a gift for finding guys and developing guys. Like I can't think of too many players that have left his program and have been better afterwards than they were with him. I mean, even down to Keanu Pinder, who was in MVP talk when he was playing at Cairns. We haven't heard that about him ever since. Or any of the others, even Quatnoy, Bull Cole. You run through the guys that have left and gone elsewhere. It's DJ Hogue last season. So he does have that ability, but I think they've all seemed to have just lost the plot.
Well, the system that he plays is a player type system. It's shoot first, think second. And when you got good shooters, that work. If you ain't got good shooters and you're just shooting it and then thinking, it can lead to some issues. But those guys in that system, up and down, a lot of possessions, you get into rhythms, you get in the flow, you get going. Same with my teams. Most of my players play better with me than other places for that reason, not because of me, but the fact that our style got up and down and allowed them to get into a rhythm. We would always have 20, 25 more possessions than the other team over the course of a season on average. So,
okay, Bryce Cotton, 59, 40, 49, 148 in the last 3 games. What are you doing as a coach in the next game to stop him? Because I thought Mike Wells at Adelaide were all at sea. They didn't have a clue how to do it. And it's not like he hadn't been producing.
Look, I've seen a bunch of single-point runs in the last couple of games, and coaches do nothing about it.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, guys are on the run, and I'm sitting there watching with my wife who knows nothing about basketball. It's driving me nuts. And I'm like, why are they letting him bring the ball up and get in the rhythm over and over and over again? I'm going to make someone else beat me at a certain point. All right, at a certain point in time, Bryce can't beat me anymore. But throw in a 2-2, 2-2-1 half-court press just to break it up, break the rhythm, get him to throw the ball back. Then go man, deny him hard. Now, shot clock's at 14 seconds. We got somebody else making a decision at 14 seconds versus Bryce with the ball at 22 seconds and getting to make decisions for the next 10 or 15 minutes. I don't want Bryce to make decisions. I want someone else to make that decision. I want Bryce to have the ball. You can break them easy out of that by running a 1-2-2 half court, or you don't want to expose yourself that much. Run a half court or 3/4 court. You don't have to run a full court press. Go in zone, break it up, go from zone to man, mix it up some. They did nothing. They just let the team stay in the rhythm and just hoped he missed.
See, even when he got 40 against Illawarra, Wani Swakalo Bullock was doing a pretty good job when he was on him, and that they made that 40 difficult.
That 40 was extremely difficult.
Yeah.
I think they worked him, and it did at the end of the game. I think he slowed up a little bit.
Yeah.
It didn't, it took a while, but I think he slowed down a little bit. He wasn't moving around as much, but he still was extremely.
Yeah, that was a nice put-back dunk, wasn't it?
He had nice everything. I love watching him play. He plays it for the right reason, and he plays the right way.
In the time you've been here, can you remember a player having a better sequence?
Not at all. Not since I've been here. Not since I've been involved with the NBL period as a player or a coach. Have I seen anyone do that? I hear all the stories back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
I do. I know it's going to be a lot of controversial, but I think Bryce's 40 now is better than anybody getting 40 later. I played in this league in the 90s. I know it wasn't systematic rotations. All I had to do was beat the person in front of me, and I was laying the ball up, or beat the person in front of me and knocking the shot down. It was only, at that time, Brian Gordon was the only team that really ran systematic rotations, and it was one more. I can't think of who it is now. But when I went playing against them, I knew that beating my man was going to be an issue because it was going to be help there all the time. Watching Bryce do what he's doing with the athleticism on the floor today, I think is pretty exceptional.
Yeah, the only time there's been a 3-game sequence like that was the Al Green one, where he went 46, 32, 71, 48-minute games, but it was on a road trip on a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and he got his 71 in the third game.
71 in the third game?
Yeah, 46, 32, 71 wow. He went. But yeah.
Well, physically, that's just physically, that's a pretty big task, but Al was a supreme athlete, so he could do it.
All right, we'll be back in just a moment.
Hi, I'm Joey Wright, owner-operator at Shoot HQ. I want to welcome you to my happy place.
Hey, welcome to Shoot HQ.
Go, go! Here at Shoot HQ, we got everything you need to enhance your game of basketball. Some of the greatest players in Australian basketball come here to train. When it comes to basketball training facilities, Shoot HQ stands out with our unique offerings. With over 40 years of personal experience in basketball and a track record of coaching some of Australia's top players, I bring a wealth of experience to our programs. We're going to pass it to the wing one time, and we're attacking from the wing. Coupled with our state-of-the-art training tools, Shoot HQ is your one-stop destination to elevate your basketball skills. So whether you want a one-off shooting session or looking to become a member, you can book courts online at shoothq.com.au.
All right, we've got ourselves a coach's corner, and the question we're asking is the NBL swinging too much toward entertainment and away from basketball, a la a baby NBA?
No, I don't think so. I think right now they got the mix right. I don't want to go any further with it, where we're getting too much into entertainment. But I know that entertainment's a part of it. We don't want the entertainment to influence the outcome of the game or anything that happens on the court. Mm-hmm. Everything before and everything after, great. We don't want that to happen. And sometimes I question whether referees are pulling that thing back a little bit. Some of the calls seem to be a bit lopsided when the team's up by 20 or down by 20.
Yeah.
But
what about the fact that there are some aspects of the game that are now changing that we might as well say there's no such thing as carrying the ball anymore? Because I've seen like real sort of holding of the ball.
Bryce is one.
I know. So I'm saying, like, is it time we just said, okay, any kind of dribbling is all right?
Well, I think they're flirting with the line of carrying. I mean, Bryce gets about right there. He gets about right there. I don't know if he carries a lot, but it'll probably be 2 or 3 he gets away with during the game. And whoever's defending him is probably like, I can't defend that. That dude can do that.
Yeah.
If he can do that, I can't defend it. But I don't think they're influenced the individual high scores. Those were like, man, look at some of the shots that were made. A lot of threes, a lot of contested threes, hand in the face. I mean, you know, a lot of those tough shots.
Okay, but I'm just sort of talking about the bastardization of the rules a little bit for entertainment's sake, because the travel has disappeared. Also, you've got the gather step. Oh, take another gather
That's
step.
FIBA, though.
Another one. Oh, okay, now I'll make my move.
That's FIBA.
Now, if I'm defending that, I see how you land, which ones you pivot. I know, you know, your limitations now.
Yeah.
Well, I don't, because you can switch that around 3 or 4 times.
Only things changed in the FIBA rules when it comes to traveling is a gather step. So now we can catch it on the 0. So that first step is okay, and then you get your 1-2 after that and finish. That's the only thing that's really changed. Now, people have exploited it, meaning that they're adding stuff called a Pinoy step, a high step stuff, where it's a normal step, but they're looking like they're going to shoot the ball, and that's throwing a lot of you oldies off. Stuff that they're doing.
I'm so offended.
The stuff that they're doing nowadays is within the rules. They're just pushing the rule limit. You know, low step, high step, Pinoy step, whatever you want to call it. All that stuff is just
4-step, 2-step, little dance here, go through for a dunk, 5-step, all look good. We're not going to call
talking
anything.
age. You're showing your age.
Oh,
I'm telling
not talking age.
We'll grab some clips. We'll grab some clips for you guys, and I'll show you some of the innovations in the rules that these players are using. That
I don't
is
have a problem with
total legal.
Yeah.
It just looks really weird.
I don't have a problem with evolution, okay? But I do have a problem with bastardization. I think they're two different things.
I think so too. I don't think the NBL is there though.
Okay.
I don't think the NBL's there. I think the NBA is. It's hard for me to even watch the NBA for that reason. Who the hell knows? I seen somebody the other day. It was Giannis. You know, caught the ball 2-3 steps and then put it down. I'm like, it's in front of you. Like it's.
Giannis Smith, Giannis Jones. What's his surname?
Antetokounmpo.
Antetokounmpo. Yeah, that's it. You got it. Excellent. Well, let's talk NBA because this week we've got a little bit of Patty Mills footage. We haven't seen Patty for a while. We'll just have a quick look at that.
A little off balance, right? Yeah, not only a veteran in the locker room, but the guy still has a lot of game left on those threes. 3 in a row, Bowler.
We're back. Just in case you're looking for late Christmas stocking fillers, here's a good one. It's been upgraded. And also, we've got a typical Dyson Daniels play where he's... have you seen this? Let's check this out.
Daniels. A little short. Moves Denver the chance to run with Gordon. And Daniels a track down block.
He just does not give up.
He surprised me. Not from the standpoint as I didn't think he would be good. I didn't know anything about him.
Well,
I
you
didn't
know
know
that
anything
first year that Josh Giddey played. I remember we were talking on this podcast some years back about how amazing his impact was instantly. We didn't expect it to be quite so substantial. Now with Dyson Daniels, this move to Atlanta, he's stepped up a level. As you said, kid from Bendigo, we didn't know much about him.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think, you know, I didn't know anything about him, and I was coaching. That's the part that, you know, that's the part where, you know, I let myself down. But, you know, not like I would have had an opportunity to get him. But he still was, you know, I didn't know a lot about who he was. I knew his dad more than him, and just, you know, of his dad. And
What's his dad name? Is that Jack Daniels?
Oh my goodness. Yes, you had a few this morning, didn't you? But he's exceptional. He's done well at Atlanta, and they just freed him up to go out and make plays. He's out there balling.
Yeah. Are you surprised that OKC are doing so well in the West and that Cleveland are doing? I mean, they're in the East are leading the way. Is this a
Not
surprise?
at all, because I didn't really focus on it. I do like OKC and everything they had to bring, because Shea is one of my. I just like the way he plays basketball. He goes about it. He's not a headache. He just gets out there and go to work. So I do like watching OKC, but no, I haven't honed in on that.
All right. We'll be back with our NBL predictions in just a moment.
Patty Mills Beyond Basketball is a tribute to Australia's greatest current Indigenous sportsman, an inspirational Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander whose uniform hangs at St. Mary's College in California. A man instrumental in the San Antonio Spurs winning an NBA championship, and the basketballer who gave Australia its greatest individual performance in an Olympic medal round, when he steered the Boomers to bronze in Tokyo. Yet it could have been so different. Had it not been for AFL and Collingwood superstar Scott Pendlebury rejecting a basketball scholarship to the Australian Institute of Sport, the Patty Mills story would have been very different. This is his inspirational story and journey intertwined with the history of the Boomers. Prepare to be amazed and moved. Paddy Mills, Beyond Basketball.
All right, we're back, and we're talking NBL Round 12 tonight. Tasmania is at New Zealand.
My 3-1 theory, I'm going to go with New Zealand. And I don't even want to go with New Zealand. Meaning, I don't think New Zealand's going to win, but I'm just going to stick to my theory.
Okay.
I think New Zealand's cooked. I think they're done. They'll win some games before the season's over because Jackson Parker Cartwright can win you a game, period.
Yep.
But I don't think they'll be in that top four and operate in that top four much more.
Okay, I'm going with Tasmania in that one. Then we've got South East Melbourne and Brisbane, and this is actually going to be a pretty good game, I would think. South East Melbourne at Brisbane.
South East Melbourne at Brisbane.
Sobey.
Factor. I'm going to roll with Brisbane on that. They're playing some good basketball.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to take a punt and say South East Melbourne gets that. That maybe I need to be a bit more convinced by Brisbane. That was a great win in Melbourne for sure, but they were down Chris Goulding. Middle Bullets didn't have Josh Bannon, but you know, it was a good win, but I still need one more to be convinced.
Well, yeah, probably one more would help, but yeah, I'm going to roll with them. Brisbane.
All right, the big one is the top two teams, Illawarra at Melbourne. That's game of the round, no question, especially in the light of what happened at the previous occasion in Wollongong, how it went to overtime, the Tech Fail and Justin Tatum, they went off the rails for a while. That's a big one.
Yeah, it is a big one, and I'm going to roll with the Hawks on that.
Ditto. I expect they're going to be psyched.
I think they'll be psyched up. I think they'll be pumped. They'll be ready to go. Let's say, barring any extracurricular league decisions, go with the Hawks. Goulding's still out. Definitely going with the Hawks.
Montrezl Harrell is back, and Adelaide hosts New Zealand.
I think Adelaide gets that one. They get that one. They get that one good.
You still think Montrezl Harrell is the most impactful import? Is that what you're saying? Or
no,
impactful player ever to come to
Leroy's the most impactful player that's ever played in this league. Bryce is second, in my opinion.
I agree.
Montrezl Harrell is the best player that's ever stepped on into the NBL.
Do you think we should give Andrew Bogut a call?
You can call Bogues all you want. Bogues,
starter on a championship team.
Bogues
number one draft choice, MVP of our league. But did you forget him? I mean, it's easy to forget.
I did forget Andrew, and when I will make some apologies there. I did forget Andrew because Bogues is probably he'd be up there if not better than Montrez. So I take that back.
Okay.
I'm talking more import when I'm thinking that.
Sure.
I wasn't thinking Australian players. But if we talk Australian players, Andrew Bogut. If we talk imports, Montrez here.
You think he's going to rip this game up?
I think he will.
Yeah.
I just think who he is, barring, foul trouble or a league decision. He does extremely well.
Yeah, he was so screwed with that. But anyway, with what happened.
I think so too. And I'll shout out to John Casey for acknowledging that during the game the other day. Big shout out.
Righto. Kansas at home to Perth. I don't know why. I've just got a feeling I'm going with Cairns. I don't know why.
Cairns.
You too?
I'm going with Cairns on this. I'm going with Cairns on this. I think Perth, I think Bryce, that run might be over. Just not because any other thing, just it's science. It's hard to just replicate, that kind of run over and over and over. If he comes out with another 40-point game, good payday, Bryce. Good payday.
I think he won't be in our league next year. I think he'll be playing with Trevor Gleeson in Japan. But let's move on to the throwdown where we've got Southeast Melbourne and Melbourne.
I'm going to roll with Melbourne on that one. I'm going to roll with Melbourne on that.
Likewise, I think we're only split on one this week so far.
Somebody keep up our count too, because I think I'm leading.
I'm killing him. All right, and last and probably least, Sydney versus Brisbane.
I'm going to roll with Sydney on that.
Yeah, I think so too. So by my calculations, if I'm right, I think we've split up on the Brisbane game. You're expecting them to win the other one against Southeast Melbourne. I think I've got them dropping 2, which okay.
With Sydney, I just still think Jalen Adams is a clown. I just think he's a clown, and they're going to struggle up and down, but I do think they get this one just on the rest of the guys.
Okay. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3.